It is 1929, Düsseldorf, Germany, a city rebuilding itself after the war. Factories hum during the day. At night, the streets are quiet. Gas lamps flicker along narrow roads. People walk home from work, through parks, past canals. The city feels ordinary, safe, but in the shadows, someone is watching. This is the story of Peter Kürten, a man who lived in plain sight for decades, a man who killed children, women, and men, a man who became known as the Vampire of Düsseldorf, not because he drank blood, but because of the way he spoke about his crimes, with pleasure, with calm, as if describing a meal. Peter Kürten was born in 1883 in Mülheim am Rhein, near Cologne. He was one of 13 children. His father was an alcoholic, violent. The family lived in a single room. There was no privacy, no escape. Peter watched his father beat his mother. He watched his father assault his sisters. This was normal. This was home. As a child, Peter befriended a local dog catcher. The man taught him how to torture animals, how to kill them slowly. Peter found he enjoyed it. He drowned dogs. He stabbed pigs. He felt powerful. He felt in control. By the time he was 9, he had pushed a friend off a raft. The boy drowned. Peter watched. No one suspected him. He committed his first confirmed murder at 16. He strangled a girl during a robbery. He said later that the act gave him satisfaction, sexual satisfaction. He was arrested for theft many times. He spent years in prison, but never for murder. Not yet. When he was released, he moved to Düsseldorf. He married a woman named Auguste. She was a former sex worker. She had been through her own trauma. She did not ask questions. Peter worked as a mold maker. He attended church. He dressed well. He was polite to neighbors. He seemed reformed, respectable. No one knew what he did at night. Between 1913 and 1929, Peter Kürten killed at least 9 people, possibly more. He attacked men, women, and children. He used knives, hammers, scissors. Sometimes he strangled. Sometimes he stabbed. He was not consistent. He did not have a type. He simply chose whoever was vulnerable, whoever was alone. February 1929. A 9-year-old girl, Rosa Oliger, was found dead. She had been stabbed 13 times, burned with gasoline. The brutality shocked the city. Police searched for suspects. They found nothing. The case went cold. In August, 2 young sisters were found dead at a local fair, stabbed, their bodies left in a garden. Witnesses had seen a man with them. Descriptions varied. Police had no clear lead. Panic spread. Parents stopped letting children play outside. Women carried weapons. The city felt hunted. Attacks followed. A servant girl was stabbed. She survived. A woman was bludgeoned with a hammer. She survived. But others did not. The attacks were random, scattered across the city. No clear pattern, no connection between victims. Police were overwhelmed. The press called the killer a monster, a vampire. The name stuck. Peter Kürten read the newspaper coverage. He enjoyed it. He followed the investigation closely. He even spoke to neighbors about the crimes. He offered theories, shared concerns, played the worried citizen. No one suspected him. He was too normal, too polite, too helpful. In May 1930, Kürten approached a young woman named Maria Budlik at the train station. She was new to Düsseldorf, looking for work. He offered to help her find a room. She followed him. He led her through dark streets. She became nervous. He attacked her. He strangled her until she passed out. Then he stopped. He let her go. He walked away. Maria went to the police. She described her attacker, the location, the details, but she was confused. The streets had been dark. She was not sure of the road. The police took her statement, but they did not prioritize it. They had received hundreds of tips. This seemed like another dead end. Maria wrote a letter to a friend describing what happened. The letter was misdelivered. It was opened by a stranger. The stranger read it. She saw the details, the attack, the description. She brought the letter to police. This time, they paid attention. Police found Maria. They asked her to retrace her steps. She led them through the streets. She remembered a building, an address. Police investigated. They found the name of a tenant, Peter Kürten. They began surveillance. They spoke to neighbors. Everyone said the same thing. Quiet, polite, married, work steady hours. Nothing unusual. But police continued watching. On May 24th, 1930, Kürten walked into a police station. He confessed, not because he felt guilt, but because he knew he would be caught. He wanted control. He wanted to tell his story on his terms. He confessed to 9 murders, to more than 30 attacks. He described each one in detail. Where, when, how. He was calm, precise. He corrected investigators when they got facts wrong. He showed no remorse. He said the crimes gave him pleasure. He said he felt excited when he read about them in the newspapers. He said he attended the funerals of some victims to watch, to feel the impact of what he had done. He led police to crime scenes. He showed them where he buried weapons, where he disposed of evidence. Everything matched. The case was closed, not through investigation, but through confession. During his trial, psychiatrists examined Kürten. They tried to understand him. He was not legally insane. He understood his actions. He knew right from wrong. He simply chose wrong because it felt good. He described his pleasure in clinical terms. He said violence gave him sexual satisfaction. He said he fantasized about mass destruction, about causing suffering on a large scale. He was articulate, intelligent, frighteningly aware. The courtroom was packed. The trial became a sensation. Kürten remained calm throughout. He answered questions politely. He showed no emotion when victims' families wept. When asked if he felt anything, he said no. He said he had tried to feel remorse, but could not. He said he was simply built differently. He was convicted of 9 murders, sentenced to death. He did not appeal. He accepted the verdict. On July 2nd, 1931, Peter Kürten was executed by guillotine in Cologne. His last words were reported to be a question. He asked if he would hear the sound of his own blood gushing from his neck. Even at the end, he was curious, detached, fascinated by his own death. After his execution, his head was preserved, studied. Researchers wanted to understand, to find something in his brain that explained what he was. They found nothing, no abnormality, no physical explanation, just the brain of an ordinary man. Peter Kürten is remembered not just for the brutality of his crimes, but for the ordinariness of his life. He was married, employed, social. He blended in. He was the neighbor who smiled, the man who attended church, the polite stranger who offered help. And beneath that surface, nothing. No empathy, no guilt, just appetite. Düsseldorf recovered. The city moved on. The parks filled with people again. Children played. Women walked home at night. But for a time, the city had been paralyzed, not just by the violence, but by the fear that anyone could be the killer, that evil could wear such an ordinary face. The case influenced criminology. It became a study in psychopathy, in the disconnect between appearance and reality, in how someone could function in society while harboring desires so dark. Kürten gave interviews. He cooperated with researchers. He wanted to be understood, not forgiven, just studied, documented, remembered. His wife, August, divorced him after his arrest. She testified against him. She said she had no idea. She said he was kind to her, gentle. She could not reconcile the man she knew with the man on trial. She lived the rest of her life in obscurity, changed her name, disappeared. The Vampire of Düsseldorf is gone, executed nearly a century ago, but his case remains in textbooks, in criminal psychology courses, in discussions about the nature of evil. Because Peter Kürten was not insane. He was not driven by delusion. He simply enjoyed causing pain, and he did it for years in a city that never suspected, until a misdelivered letter changed everything. The story ends here with an ordinary man who did extraordinary evil, who lived unnoticed until he chose to be noticed. The streets of Düsseldorf are bright now. The gas lamps are gone. The city is modern, safe, but the memory lingers of a time when a polite man walked among them, and no one knew until it was too late, and the silence, after all these years, still echoes.